Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Morgan, and welcome back to Morgan's Journal. Um, if you're new here, hi, my name is Morgan. I am recording my cash stuffing journey. So I am excited to show you guys what I've been doing. So, as you can see, if you're not new here, this setup is a little bit different as far as what I've got on the screen right now. And it's because this video, I want to show you guys my budget. Like, I wanted to do a little budget with me on how I budget and stuff. So I wanted to walk through like how I use my weekly budgeting worksheet that I designed in order to, give you guys a better idea of where I'm coming from as far as my numbers and things weekly, because they don't really change. Mainly the variable expenses change, but I just wanted to start off first with my hard numbers. So my fixed expenses, those are the numbers that I need to pay all the time. So I have rent, water, electric, Apple, which is my Apple card. I have autosave, which is going to a savings account, and then I have Nelnet, which is my student loans. So my totals for these amounts: rent is $1,200 a month. Water is about, let me see, it's like 81. That's the average I have. Electric, let's see, 30. I'll say around 102 is a good number, like a median number that I have. Apple is 200. Autosave is about 40 a month. And Nelnet is also 200, like minimum. And I may add more to these. It depends on what I have, but usually this is the numbers that I'm going off of as far as my main totals. So rent, I will collect every 4 weeks. I pay every 4 weeks rent. So I divide this by 4 so that I have the number that I need by the time rent's due. So, and 1,200 divided by 4 is 300. So I will pay 300 a week. Like, I'll save 300 a week for rent, so I have 1,200 by the end of the month. Water and electric are different because I do those every 3 weeks. So 81 for water divided by 3, or at least how I have it right now, is 27. So that's what I do every 3 weeks. So by the 3rd week, I should have water ready. Now, these 2 dates aren't really stagnant like rent is. That's why I did it 3 weeks, because sometimes the due date moves up. Electric stays around the 19th through the 24th. But water has been moving slowly up. Like, it used to be like on the 5th, and now, I guess because of dates, it's now I have to pay it on the 30th of January. So I like having these 2 amounts sooner. And then electric divided by 3 I have is 34. And the rest of these I just do weekly, so that'll be 4 weeks. So this amount I will get over 4 weeks. So Apple gets 50, autosave will get 10 a week, and then Nelnet will also get 50 a week. And like I said, I may have some days where I want to auto transfer extras, but it's usually mainly to these 3 at the bottom. When it gets to like the warmer months, electric might go a little higher. That's when I might try and have a little extra during those months, but this is still a good median for me to have. But I'll know ahead of time if I need to adjust my budget to account for these 2 numbers. So I just wanted to like go ahead and like show y'all a little bit where my numbers are coming from. And the variable expenses vary, which are gas, groceries, and miscellaneous, but I usually like to keep those around 30 each weekly because I don't really go over that. It depends. Like this past week, I used all my gas, and that got me an almost full tank. So this coming week, I probably won't spend gas or all of it. It just depends on where I'm going. Okay, so let's start with this. Okay, so this week, and you guys will see this in the next video. So this week, we're going to budget. I like to write it out here. So I'm using Procreate to write all this out. So we're using $651 this week. And I like to do the date, so I got that on 2/2. Income is work. I have extra lines just in case I earn extra streams of income. For right now, I'm not, but I'm hoping in the future that I will. So that's why I have that already there. So 651. So going off of the numbers that I have here, that I know weekly that are stagnant, I'm going to fill out my fixed expenses. So rent, water, electric. Oh no. Okay. All right. I like Procreate. Pens get a little bit spicy sometimes. Apple, autosave, and Nelnet. And I use Procreate because I use this program all the time to draw, so it's the easiest for me to do, and I like toggling on and off the layers so I can see what I did last week, this week, next week, and all that. So rent, I also like to put the due date for these. Rent is 3/1. Water, I'll do 228 because it'll probably show up at the end of the month. Electric, we'll do 219. Apple, Apple's 2/5 because that comes out on Monday. Autosave, we'll do 2/2 because that comes out whenever my check deposits. And then Nelnet, same thing, 2/2 comes out whenever my check deposits. So, and I'll write here on this column the budget for these. Initially, I had like the budget amount and then what I actually spent and the difference, but I felt like that got too complicated for me because I wasn't using it. And it's like these, I'm going to use all of it, and when it comes to cash stuffing, I feel like the less info that I have written down, at least for these columns, the better. I was like, I just need to know how much fixed expenses are and what's going in my envelope, which is where I write down on my cash slips. So water's 27, electric is 34, Apple's 50, autosave is 10, and Nelnet is 50. So I'm gonna add these up. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna add these up. And that should total about 471. So 7 plus 4 is 11. Carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. Plus 2 is 6. Plus 3 is 9. Plus 5 is 14. 1 is 15. Wait. Hold on. I don't have a calculator on me. I need to get one of those. I just want to, do the math in front of y'all so we make sure we get the right numbers. So 327, 34, 50, 10, 50. 7 plus 4 is 11. Oh, carry the 1 here. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 is 6, plus 5 is 11, plus 1 is 12, plus 5 is 17. Carry the 1, 1 plus 3 is 4. 471. Okay, cool. Don't worry, guys, I have a calculator on the way. I realized that over time I will need a calculator because usually I use my phone to calculate while I'm doing this, but like on screen I'm like, oh, I need a calculator. because I use my phone to record. So, though this column will be easier. So we have our fixed expenses. This next column will be easier. So variable expenses. Oh, this has a typo. This should say variable. But it's just me using it, so it's not a big of a deal. But it should say variable. So we'll have groceries, and then gas, and then miscellaneous. And depending on how much I have left over, all of these will get 30 each. That's a pretty good number for me. I don't have dates for these because I'm kind of just spending them during the week. So, let's see. More math. 651 minus 471. Have to borrow 5. 15 minus 7 is 8. 0. How much is 1? So 180. We have 180 left. So that means I can give these columns their max that I usually want to do, which is 90. So 30, 30, and 30. And I'm definitely probably going to spend these this week because I'm going to have to take a gas and I've got some miscellaneous things I want to get. So let's see, total here 90. And 180 minus 90 is 90. So I like writing the number here above my sinking funds, this is the next column, above my sinking funds so I know how much I'm working with. As you guys know, if you've seen, I've been stuffing car maintenance pretty heavy. And since I finished stuffing for my website, I will have a lot more to work with as far as this goes. So I was thinking 60 for this week, and that would have me at 185. But I think I'm gonna do, this may change later, but right now I'm thinking I'm gonna do 80. And that'll have me 125 plus 80. 125, 80. That'll be 205. I may do something different. I'm not sure. But 205 is a good number to be. And that'll get me close to at least 2 tires. If not all the way. And then I have my $5 savings challenge, which I can do 10 because I paid my water bill this week and I do have leftover 5s from that envelope, so I can use those 5s there. And since it's like a challenge, I'm not really keeping track of how much is in there, so I just put a line here. And then okay, so last but not least is the cash stuffing. So this is where I break down my denominations on my sheet so that way I know how much of each amount that I need to get, and it's not in a separate place. It's all the same place. I know what my budget was and I know how much I need to cash stuff for it. It's very helpful to keep it all in one place. So rent, I write down all my categories that I have on this sheet. That I'm taking cash out for. So before I get too far ahead of myself, I like to mark with a dot. I'm doing blue this time. The items that I do not keep or that I do not cash stuff for. So these 3, Apple, Autosave, and Nelnet, I keep in my account because those are auto-drafted. And I don't really want to think about those. The other 3 here, I like to take out and cash stuff for because those are items that in the past I had issues with not having those amounts like ready. So I think cash stuffing has been really helpful in making sure that I have the amounts I need. And then going to the bank and depositing them hasn't really been a hassle as far as like being cumbersome. Like I get for some people it is cumbersome, so they do it digitally. But this has really helped me stay accountable with like getting used to cash stuffing and having the money. Like last week I deposited my rent and it was such a relief to have rent like a day or two before it was due. And I was always in the past like scrambling to make sure that I had it, or maybe I was pulling from my savings. Like it was just a lot of hassle. And now like not only did I pay rent on time, I paid water and electric on time, and I had extras from those accounts, like from those amounts that I could save because I accounted for them. And like I could have been doing this the whole time. It's just I love cash stuffing. I love cash stuffing for the fact that like I had money and I was even able to like save it and have extra, and my bills are paid and I'm not like in debt. Like okay, I'm in debt, but you know what I mean. Like I'm not struggling with my bills. But these like Apple and Nelnet, those are definitely I want to make sure in my account and I pay them because I want to pay off my Apple card this year, or at least get it down a bunch, like 90% down this year, and then put a big chunk in my Nelnet. Okay, so let's go back down here since we got those. So rent, water, electric, gas, groceries, miscellaneous, and car maintenance, and the last one, $5 savings. Okay, so rent. So I have all my categories written down here. And then the next column I have is the total. So I write down all their totals because I'm going to add them up in this column too. Water, 27, electric, 34. It's nice that these are fixed numbers so I can remember them offhand. Gas, 30, groceries, 30, miscellaneous, 30, car maintenance, 80, $5 savings, 10. Okay, so, and then I have the denomination breakdown on this side. So I go in and break down how much of what bills I'm getting. So 300 for rent is always 3 100s. Water, 27, so I'm gonna do a 20, a 5, and 2 ones. 34 for electric, so 34 is always 20, 10, 4. And the rest of these, gas, groceries, miscellaneous, each of those are going to be a 20 and a 10. 20 and a 10. Alright, car maintenance will be a 50, a 20, and a 10. And then $5 savings will be 2 5s. Okay. Or, well, you know what? Okay, I say that. I'm going to do another 10. You know, spice up one of those envelopes a little bit. Be like, ooh, there was a 10 in here. Now I have a little extra than I was going to have. All right. So I'll add up the columns. 2 plus 4 is 6. There's 1 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 20s, 6 10s, 6 1s, 1 5, a 50, and 3 100s. So I'm gonna make sure to add everything together. Like I said, calculator en route. Don't worry, guys. I'll be able to type this up at some point. But now I gotta do the first grade math here. I gotta dig deep. All right. So 300. 27, 34, 30 is 90. 80 plus 10 is 90, so that's 180. 7 plus 4, 11. Carry 1. 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 8 is 14. Carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So 541. Added that up. So we added up the total column, but I like to double check the denomination column and add those up. So 3 100s is 300. And then there's a 150. There's 620. So 20 times 6 is 120. There's 610. So 6 times 10 is 60. There's a 5. And then there's 6 ones. So 5 plus 6 is 11. Carry the 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. Plus 6 is 14. Carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. 541. So our numbers match, which is good. If they didn't match, I double check my numbers to make sure I allocated my amounts correctly. So I will write here the total. All right, come on, work with me here. 541. And so here's our completed sheet. As you can see, work at the top. 651, we broke down our fixed and variable expenses. We marked which ones are digital, so that way we don't accidentally cash stuff them. We put our totals here for our breakdowns. And then with the leftovers, we put into our sinking funds. We wrote down what they were, put any current totals that we're keeping track of. And then for cash stuffing, we broke down each amount, so that way when we go to cash stuff, we know what bills are going where and we don't accidentally misplace anything. So every video, this is what I'm going off of. So if you're like, wow, you seem like you remember everything, how do you know where all this is going? It's like, this is on the side. So that way, if I need a refresher on whatever I'm doing, or what denominations do what, this is there and I can go back to it. So this has been super helpful for me. I am thinking about making a digital version to release maybe on Etsy. I'm still working on it because I want to make printable versions too, like 8.5 by 11, maybe an A5. I set this one specifically for my iPad screen because I like working on my iPad, so I at least have that size for those people who want to use it in. I haven't used Notion before, so maybe that's something I'd be able to put this in so people could write on it. But like I said, I use Procreate to write on it because it's easy and I'm always in Procreate. But I am trying to work on making printable versions for like A5, 8.5 by 11. I don't think this would fit on an A6, but definitely those two. I think this type of stuffing would do well. I know other type of worksheets like this have more info in them, but if you're the kind of person's need something simple and straightforward and you're not really keeping track of much, you're just more or less I'm breaking down my expenses so I know where my money is going, and then I'm breaking down cash stuffing so I know how it's going, and then I just have a place for sinking funds. For some people this may not be enough, but for some people this may be just enough. For me, it works. But if I ever need more places, I'll work on building that so it fits my needs as I grow. But I am working on trying to make this a digital printable or something. But let me know in the comments if that's something you're interested in. Also, let me know if this video was helpful for you to understand my process or just budgeting process in general. But like I said, I figure out how much my bills are, and if my bills fluctuate, I get an average that I know that most of the time I will have that amount, and then I divide it by either 3 or 4 depending on how many weeks I want to build up that bill, and then that's how I cash stuff it. And then my variables, I like to have a set amount during the week, but that can change depending on what fixed expenses I'm saving up for or what sinking funds I need to stuff. And then I just kind of make sure every dollar is doing something. Like, I know many of you probably heard that phrase, is like, I want to make sure every dollar has a job. That has really helped me with my budgeting, because when I first started cash stuffing, I didn't understand what that meant. Because I was like, don't you want to like save money? Why do you want to spend all your money? It's like, it's not about spending all your money. It's make sure all your money is doing what you want it to, whether you're saving it or spending it. Like my sinking funds, like I'm doing a $5 savings, so that money's job is to be saved in my $5 savings. So that's what helped me to understand cash stuffing and how to budget for cash stuffing. So thank you for watching. I hope this video was interesting. It's slightly different than what I've been doing. If you guys would also want like a weekly budget with me, where like every week I actually go through this, my numbers don't really change, save for like maybe any sinking funds or cash stuffing. But if y'all think that would be like interesting, just like let me know. Like, tell me in the comments, tell me on Instagram. I really, really value y'all's feedback, and I want to hang out with you guys. I like hanging out with you guys. I love doing these videos. Like, I don't know, this is just fun. So I want to do things that y'all want me to do. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you.